Good evening,
Hey,
everybody.
Can you hear
good to
me?
We
see
are
you.
live.
Yeah.
We are live now, right?
Can you hear
Okay.
me?
Yep.
You
Yep.
can hear me. Yep. Okay.
Yes.
It said I was muted, so I'm like, oh, okay. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
that's what mine said anyway. And good evening, everybody. It's Anthony. I'm here with Trudi tonight on Clean Humor. We got a guest on here tonight, Josh Gray. He's gonna help us out. We're gonna talk business. We're gonna talk shop. We're gonna talk about pressure washing. We're gonna talk about the Panhandle event coming up in November this year. So if you ain't got registered for that, go to panhandleexpo.com, get registered for that event, and let's make it one of the biggest ones that we've had so far. So I'm wanting at least 500 people registered and 499 to show up. So,
Exactly. I think we only have 3 VIP slots left.
so if you want a VIP ticket, you got to get in there and get it.
Quick, quick, quick.
She said
Wh-
we ain't got three left.
What's
So,
included in that VIP ticket?
Lunch, a shirt. I think we've got priority seating. There's quite a few bonuses or
Nice.
pluses, I guess, for that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's a great event.
and
Everybody
so,
that shows up that doesn't talk about it. I don't think I heard a bad word about the event last year. Everybody was happy with it.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
Well, let's
that's
jump in here.
awesome.
Let's get some information about our guests going on here, and if anybody got any questions, I'm not going to be able to see them tonight, I'm sure. So, Trudy, that's all on you because I'm on my phone because we're live from Jamaica, Mom.
Yeah, Jamaica.
Irie.
And
They have a bobsled team, right?
well,
Yeah, they
well,
do.
it's
I'm
awful
jealous.
hot over here. Be sliding down in a bobsled.
Yeah,
But
that's
brother, just
awesome.
jump on here. Tell us background about yourself, how you got started in business, and
Yeah, so
all
my name's
that.
Joseph Gary, and I started a company up here in the Pacific Northwest, Portland, Oregon, and I started that in 2013. So it's been 12 years now. And I always wanted to be a business owner. Like when I was a kid, I just went door to door selling apples, had the paper route, and did that whole thing. And so from a very young age, I was always very entrepreneurial and knew that I wanted to run a business. And I remember being a kid working in this factory with a pen and paper. As I'm working on the production line, I'm doing math of what it would be like to run my own business. And I was thinking, like, if I could mow lawns and charge $50 a lawn for like aerating services, I bet I could aerate 10 lawns in a day and I might be able to make $500. And at the
Hmm.
time, I was 18 years old. $500 was more than I made in 2 weeks at this day job. And I couldn't believe that that was real, but I had to find out. And I put together a little plan. I went over to Home Depot, rented the pressure washer, knocked door to door, lined up all the accounts, and we started early in the morning, 6 a.m., me and my little brother, and we just started aerating lawns. And I remember at the end of the day, we had a big stack of cash, just 20s. And I was like counting them out. And sure enough, it was $500. We did 10 locations, got $500. And we were just laughing our asses off. It was incredible. Like, oh my God, we cracked the code. I just made 2 weeks of wages in a day as an 18-year-old with no education. I have no idea what I'm doing. But if it's possible for me and my brother, who's like 15, to figure this out, I will commit the rest of my life to learning how to run a business. I don't care what it takes. I don't care if it takes 20 years. I'm going to
Hmm.
figure it out. And that
Oh, it was
really
just
started
you
me
and a
on this.
lawnmower.
That's right. And so that
So
started
what?
this whole journey. What's that?
No, no, go ahead. Go ahead. I thought you were finished. Go ahead.
I just kind of lit the fire in me. And years went by. I didn't really pursue that fully because there's some things that came up, which I could talk about later. But I ended up moving from Utah to Portland. And I had a job that I hated. I was in sales. I was selling copy machines. And it was killing my soul to be in corporate America, wearing the suit and tie and having bosses that were just jerks. And it was killing me. And the way I would cope is just by coming home and getting drunk in front of the computer every night, watching YouTube and watch other people talk about running businesses. And I feel like I was drinking and trying to cope with this um, feeling of feeling lost and not good enough and not going down my life's path. And so night after night was just like this. And one night, I don't know what happened, but I was like, you know what? I'm just going to start a business tonight. I don't know what the business is, um, but I'm just going to declare myself a business owner and just do whatever I think a business owner might do. So I literally just turned off the monitor and I made a list of every business I could think of. And it was like starting a food cart or more mobile car detailing or janitorial services. And one thing that stopped me from starting was I thought there was an infinite number of ideas floating around and I didn't know the best one. And so once I wrote them all down on a piece of paper, I wrote and wrote and wrote until I couldn't write anymore. And I got to the end of the list and I kept trying and I couldn't add anything to it. Maybe a couple minutes would go by and I'd add one more. But when I stepped back to look at it, I was like, oh, there's only like 30 things on this list. The ideas are not infinite, they're finite, and they're now here. So my business idea must be on this list somewhere. So now I was like, hey, what's the next thing a business owner would do? I'm like, well, maybe he would analyze the list and figure out the best course of action. So I was like, I came up with some criteria. It's like, what can I start today? What can I start with low capital? What can I, just in the current position I was in, what can I do right now? And I crossed everything off until I came to a janitorial business. And when I saw the janitorial business, I was like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not scrubbing toilets and I'm not going to be like a maintenance worker my whole life. Like that kind of sucks. Like, I don't know why, but I had a negative perspective of it at that time. And, there's a big stigma around janitors in our society. So I held that belief myself and I was like, I can't do that. But it was one of the only things left on my list. So I was like, okay, I got to look at this from a business perspective. And I started thinking like I could in this business, I can get reoccurring contracts where I close the deal once, but they pay me every single month. And then I could go out and I could do big deep cleaning projects like pressure washing, and I can get the big money. So now all of a sudden I've got like a salary I can depend on, and I can make like commissions by getting these bigger deals. And I was like, that's a pretty good business model. I was like, and then maybe I could actually like learn to be a leader and train some people, and then they could go service my accounts for me. And then maybe I could scale this upward infinitely. So I was like, I have no better ideas that I could do right now. And I want to own a business. This is the best idea I could come up with. I'm just going to commit and go all in and make this my life's mission. And maybe someday in the future, if I ever think of another business I want to start, I'll look at it then. But at least when I'm starting at that point later, I'll have all of the skills that I've learned by building up this business right now. So that's really where my whole journey started. And so over the years, um I just that's basically just where it started. And then I found myself um struggling and going through all the financial issues and learning how to be more consistent, really learning how to push myself to keep knocking the doors and taking the rejection. Slowly started getting more and more equipment. Over time, I built my business. I got a team of 35 people right now, and we, I think we're the biggest company in my niche and market in Portland, Oregon. And so right now I focus mainly on cleaning bars and restaurants primarily. But last year I bought a big pressure washing trailer. I bought out another small company and bought the trailer and his customer list. And so we've been building that out since last year. So that's,
Nice.
in a nutshell, that's the last 12 years of my life.
Well, we got Kyle on here and Raj on here. We've got, not everybody's commenting, so we got a few people on here. So you guys say hi. Have any business questions? Make sure you ask them. So, what do you actually do for pressure washers if they have, if they're struggling? They know how to do the work. They're an expert at working, but on the business end, they struggle a little bit. How do you go about helping them do that?
Well, one thing, when I got this trailer, it was a very complicated trailer. I've got like four machines on here and all these weird tanks and these weird chemical like mixing dials. I'm like, I don't know what any of this is. So the first thing I did was um, I got with the guy that I bought the business from and I had him show me every component. I broke it down into the different systems. And then I figured out like, okay, here's how the hot water machine works, and here's like how the buffer tank works, and here's all the different hose reels and where they go to, and the water fed pole and how that connects. And once I broke it into the bigger components, then I took each one of those systems and I documented it from beginning to end.
Mhm.
And it's like, you know, pull the hose from the garden hose, hook that up to the customer's water line, start filling the buffer tank, then turn on your equipment. I went through just line by line and figured out how to make a system. And then
Mhm.
I made an actual guide that my techs could use. That way, when I hire them, I'm not having to show them out in the field how to do all this stuff. They can actually read the guide before we get out servicing a customer, get familiar with the equipment, the safety procedures, and then start going. And I feel like that's increased our safety and it makes us look more professional, and it improves our quality just by having that simple guide for how to use the trailer. So that was one of the things that I did. Do you guys do that? Do you document in your systems? I don't really know too much about how your businesses are set up.
I don't. I only got like one helper. During the summer, I got two because the kids are home from school. But I mean, usually I'm on the truck, but I'm working to get off the truck, so I don't document it. But I'm thinking about making them a checklist because sometimes they don't wash the injector out on the Flow Pro downstream injector, and you just keep running chemicals through it and stuff, and you don't wash it out. I mean, I mean, it ain't but like 25, $30, but it's my 25, $30. I mean,
Right.
if I
Well,
can get a year,
it's
if
not
I
only
can get,
that, it messes your hoses up because you're not rinsing that hose
yeah,
out either. And that
yeah,
chemical stays in that hose and degrades that.
but I mean, it don't
One of
take
the
that long to flip a little three-way valve, and,
Mm-hmm.
and hit the button and let it rinse it out while you disconnect the water, roll your water hose up, and everything. So usually you got extra water in your tank from
Mm-hmm.
doing the job. So I mean, use it wisely. I mean, undoing your pressure hose. Most people think that's the first thing I need to do, but it actually should be the last thing you do if you're running chemicals through your system, through your lines and everything.
Yeah.
That's my thing on it. And back use like when you started your business, your lawn care business. I mean, people start pressure washing business this day and time, and I think where they go wrong at most of the time, or probably 90% of the time, and Trudy could probably back me up for this, they don't have the clientele. They don't have the people to go wash. They want a $20,000 or $30,000 trailer, and they don't need it right off the bat.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
They don't
you
have
know,
the marketing and the infrastructure put in place to pay for that $20,000, $30,000
so then
rig.
they'll get that trailer next year or the year after. You see it on Marketplace for sale or on one of the Facebook pressure washing groups. And everybody's like, well, why are you selling it for? You just bought that trailer last year.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
a lot of them don't know how to use the equipment correctly. So, when you go to buy a trailer or have one built or have a skid built, make sure the people that are building it for you is going to show you how to use it. Because, I've never soft wash except with a 12 volt. I've never used a gas roof pump, never needed to. I'm downstream all the way, baby. That's my life is downstream all the way. And, I've never had to use that. But, when I pull up and you know, my guy Kyle likes to trade up the trailer, and then I pull up somewhere, there's a new ball valve or something, and I don't know what it's for. And so I've got to call and say, what's this for? Usually it's nothing crazy, but on our trailers and rigs, we have the label maker. We put on the three-way, we put water and chemical, and if somebody comes and drops off the trailer that's worked for us, and that little ball valve is still on chemical, we know they didn't rinse it out. So, I mean, we make the trailers easy to use, consumer friendly. But a lot of the guys with the soft wash, they don't know you have to hold the trigger when you're starting it. They don't know
yeah,
that. They just dry start it without holding the dang trigger. And, simple things like, hey, my injector's not pulling chemical. Sometimes it's not the injector. Sometimes their chemical filter's clogged. And that, it won't pull chemical if your chemical filter is just covered in whatever you've got in that chemical dropped in there, whatever it is. Um, So, learning your equipment, and yeah, for some guys that have, guys running their equipment, it is perfect to have a checkoff sheet. I mean, do they do the walk around before they leave? Do they know if that surface cleaner that's on top on a rack is strapped down? Do they know that, or they're just going to take off and that
Mhm.
surface cleaner is going to be on the highway in about 5 minutes? So, there's a
Yeah,
lot of
it's
things you
happening.
deal with. There's a lot of dangerous stuff in this industry that could be hazardous to people and plants and property and yourself. So there's a lot. It's just not spray and dash or splash and dash or, somebody told me another one the other day. It was awesome. I forgot who it was, but it was awesome. I'm like, I never heard that lingo before, but that's cool. It's kind of like splash and dash. So,
Yep.
it's important to have that paperwork in line. So Joe, so what do? You pressure wash and do you help people with business on the business side, correct? Is that what you do?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I've been getting into more consulting and teaching people. And I think there's like a weird perception of consultants or like on these online gurus.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a real guy that built a real business. I've done that more than anything in my life. And now I'm just sharing some of the things that I've learned along the way. So, like with some of these guides I'm talking about, I'm giving that stuff away. Like the actual real guides I use in my business, that I actually use and my techs use,
Mm-hmm.
are online, and I give those away. I can give you a link so that you can share that if you want. But what I like, the thing for me is there's so much to learn, especially in pressure washing, like you just said. It's a whole trade. And there's all these different chemicals that you use and processes and safety procedures and laws and regulations. And by the time you get someone trained up and they know all that stuff and they can work for you, you've put so much time and energy into them. If they
Yep.
leave, you've just wasted so much time and you got to start all the way over and recreate the wheel with someone brand new and fresh. But if you've got not, if you've got like a whole guide, like have you ever stayed in an Airbnb
Mm-hmm.
and you can flip through it and it tells you like, here's how the TV works. Here's how I want you to clean the dishes. Here's a picture of the laundry room. Like, and it goes step by step. It even tells you like things in the surrounding area that you can go do and visit for fun. I like to have those guides for my business for everything. So you have a manual for the trailer, and it's not just a check sheet. There's actual photos that are annotated with like red arrows that point to um, different things that they would need to know. And then in your checklist, you can explain, like hold the handle before you turn the machine on, but here's why. And underneath it, you kind of explain why. And then on the next step, you go into detail. And so everything has photos and then the reason why behind it. So as they're reading it, they're training themselves not just on like the what to do, but why it matters. So then
Yeah.
they can start to like troubleshoot and solve problems and really take ownership of the equipment themselves because they know why it's important.
All right. So we got a question here. Shane Castillo said, "Do the tanks have any way to breathe as it relates like a pump sprayer, CSN, or I guess can with an air relief pen?" Yeah. So the lids on most of the chemical things should be all have that air relief in them. So right on the top.
That's it. It's made on the leg, correct?
Yeah, to release the pressure out there. So it doesn't. It helps with the bulging and all that, but it does have a vented lid. So all the lids are vented on our tanks anyway, and they should be. I've seen a new thing a lot like for fuel tanks. Fuel tanks. I see this a lot. Guys are using the plastic fuel tanks, and I tell you what, on a 90-degree day in Florida, those things are pregnant. I mean, they're just boom. They're, and it scares me. I'm like, oh my gosh, that thing's going to blow. You better release it. So the aluminum fuel tank. I like to see that. It's safer. I've seen a lot of things they put in, just throw in the back of their truck, and they're just bulging out, and it's scary because you don't know what chemicals are in there, and it could explode and get over somebody. Somebody you might be at the McDonald's going to get something to eat, and my wife and my family's walking by, and something just explodes all over the kids. I mean, there's things you got to be careful about too. So yes, so tanks should have that that, I just said it, my brain's gone, my medicine. Sorry, I had an auto accident a couple weeks ago. So the air vent coming out, a valve coming out, it's vent, yes. I said
What
right.
happened? Are you allowed, like, are you wanting to talk about that publicly at all?
What?
What happened with the, like, I think a lot of people would be interested to know what
Yeah,
happened with the auto accident.
we had our first rain in a while. We were at a friend's house Saturday afternoon. Um, and it's a place we've never been. She had a nice old derby party. She had horses and a bunch of food and everything. And we were up there. So we left around 7:15, 7:30. Shane was driving and there was a sign that says sharp curve. So I told him to slow down. He hit the brakes to slow down. He hydroplaned, lost control. We went into the grass, which was like a slip and slide. And then we met a tree very intimately, and I didn't like that relationship at all. So I ended up with my shoulder dislocated and a fracture. My ankle was shattered. I got two bones and two screws and a plate in the ankle, and I had two broken bones in my foot. So I'm in a lot of pain. I'm still bruised all over. They just wanted me to take my boot off today and the sling, and I'm trying to, he wants me to just start walking on my foot, which, you just don't put two screws and a plate in. And, it's been in a boot for 2 weeks and expect somebody just to start running a marathon. So I think the next few weeks are going to be very painful for me just to try and get those things back to move. And, he said I had a bunch of torn ligaments and muscle ligaments and tendons in my shoulder. So it's, I've been through a lot this year. I know that's after I had my neck surgery. Beautiful scar there. I'm gonna have scars everywhere.
Wow.
So that is that's how it started January. So my year's just been been testing me. So I'm gonna kick ass the second part of this year, and it's not holding me back. So I'm just doing what I can do, and just God's just making me rest for what I'm gonna do the second half of this year.
That's
We
right.
have a few more questions. Which unit is better, a pull start or key start? I mean, for me,
E-start.
it's gonna be a key start.
Well, that'd be like which hose wheel's better, electric or manual?
Yeah, yep, exactly. Thank you, Shane. I am doing a little bit better. I think, it's going to get worse before it gets better. It'll better. So this is going to be my worst part, just going through the pain and rehabilitation and trying to get my body to work again and move again and do what it's supposed to do. So it is what it
Also,
is. It happened. I'm glad to be here and alive. So
yeah,
that's
I'm glad that you're doing okay and that you're here with us.
yes,
I want to say something about the key start or pull start.
yep.
Um, One major thing in our business is fatigue. When you start getting tired on the job, quality is going to go down. And
Mm-hmm.
so later in the day, the more work that you're doing, the more you're going to want to cut corners, the more you're not like you're going to notice a mistake that you need to go back and redo, but you're not going to have the energy to go do it. And you're going to think, oh, the customer's not going to notice. And that will eat into your business. So a pull start is not that physically exhausting to pull just one time if it fires right up. But if you're struggling and you got to keep pulling on it, or if anything happens, it wears you out just a little bit. And you add that into you, like you're doing a pull start, but then you're also like manually winding up your reels. All those little things add up, and then you're going to start to see quality issues later. So anything that you can automate is going to reduce fatigue and increase your quality over time. So even small things like that.
Um, yeah, so what, so you help I mean, do you tell them the back end of the business also, like the paperwork, the invoicing, how to structure that part of the business?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I can I like my biggest passion in life has been studying business. And so I basically just share stories that I've learned along the way, things that I've either read or lectures that I've watched, things that my friends have taught me that they own bigger businesses than I have, and then just things I've learned out in the field. So I'm always willing to help anybody with any stage of their business.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have a YouTube channel, and I mainly have been talking about the janitorial industry specifically.
Mhm.
But I talk a lot about um, just just the little things, like how do you collect on invoices faster? Like how do you manage cash flow? And I don't know if you guys have done a lot of commercial work, but sometimes you're doing a big job and they might not want to pay you for 30 or 60 days. So how do you get paid tomorrow on those big jobs? So um, I help people navigate those situations as well. So basically anything business, I obsess about it. I love it.
Awesome. Yeah, I always tell guys, commercial or even residential, if they're doing like a paver sealing job, to get the amount of money that you cost that sealer up front. If not, you're going to be stuck with that, and you might not have a sealing job for months. So always, if you're going to be doing a paver sealing job, get the money for the material up front and labor
Right.
after. And usually commercial, depending on if it's new, we don't have a relationship with them. Sometimes we ask for some up front. If we do a big job, we have a subdivision we do every year. It takes us 3 weeks to a month. We do all the sidewalks and street ribbons in the subdivision every year. So we, like every week, they'll cut us a check just, for payroll or parts or whatever, because at the end of the job, and they're like, oh, we don't want to pay, we're not going to pay you because we found one thing wrong here. You don't want to get caught in that. So you got to make sure you're going to be able to pay your guys. You got to make sure you got to pay for your product ahead of time, and the labor is going to be whatever it is.
Yeah. If we're doing a giant project, like let's say it's $20,000,
Mm-hmm.
we'll bill in milestones. If something's going to take a series of days, say it takes 5 days or whatever, well, we can still send the invoice after we do a $10,000 section of that project. And then that phase of the job's complete. That's been checked off. That's good to go. That's
Mm-hmm.
in their system, and then they can start processing that. And then you do it again for the next 10,000. Like you just keep doing that throughout the project. And a lot of big corporate accounts, the person you're dealing with, they might have a limit of how much they can spend. They
Mm-hmm.
might only be able to be allowed to give you like $9,000 before they need special approvals. So if you break the project down into sections beneath their limit and just invoice at like $8,000 increments, then you
Yeah.
bypass um, all of the upper
Three.
management that needs to sign
Yeah.
off on things. But then it also protects you because you can keep the cash coming in at those milestones.
Yeah, we do
Um,
that. We've
um,
got a commercial job, and they can spend $2,500 before they have to get permission. So we do 3 different invoices, 2,500 each, and we get paid. They're happy, and at the end of the day, come on, Anthony, you've been quiet. You got any questions?
I'm just listening.
You're just in Jamaica land over there. You're a little red, buddy.
Yeah,
You forgot some.
I got a little coke in my room,
I bet you did. You got a little
and
sun.
I'm talking. It's a little coke too. It ain't.
Hey, that's a little darker than what they got around here. Come on. Is it that overproof rum?
I don't know what she gave me.
No, Shane likes
No,
that.
I had I went down last night. Told Tracy, I said I'm gonna go find a snack. Well, I stopped at the bar, got talking to some guys down there. We got doing shots, so we took like 2 or 3 shots of different rums, and I told the lady, I said, man, I said, I want something good to drink. She said, I got you something. I said, what is it? She said, a pink pussy.
Oh, geez. You just said that online.
And I was like, I don't know about all that. And she said, it'll get you drunk. I said, I never had one get me drunk, but I had a couple of them take my life and my money and
Oh,
everything else
my
away from me before.
God. You need to
But
warn me you're drinking rum if you're going to be talking like that, potty mouth.
and
Oh, he don't even
well,
care.
I come back up here. I didn't have no snack with me or nothing. Tracy's like, what'd you get? And I was like, man, I forgot my snacks. I'll be back. So I went back down there, stopped again at the bar. So the second time I come over here, I don't think I still had snacks, but
No, geez. We got a
I
question
was,
for you. On that note, what if your bid gets canceled and someone else got the job and messed it up, and the client calls you back to correct their mistake? That's happened to us before.
It's
What I,
just like if I was like you pay me the same thing as I was going to start the job.
what I would do is a lot of times you'll get these calls and you might get it in your head that like, oh, these people, they don't know what they're doing, they're idiots, and I can fix the problem. And this is what happens is the guy that undercut me, he couldn't handle it, and I'm going to come in and save the day. And like you elevate yourself above the other guy. You got to be really careful because there might be a reason that guy screwed the job up,
Right.
and you won't know until you get into it. So if you get like a little bit like cocky and arrogant about it, you might walk into a trap. So you want to be very, very careful to go out and like check it out in person and know exactly what you're getting into so that you bid it correctly, because you might actually find out that that other guy, maybe the customer was the issue, maybe not the other service provider. If you gave them a bid and they didn't go with you in the first place, and they're just like playing the field and trying to get the best deal, and they
They're
don't
trying to
care
get the
about
cheapest.
value
They
up
ain't trying to
front,
get the best.
trying to get the cheapest, like they might not be a good customer. And so you might walk into a danger zone.
Well,
I
you know,
tell
it's
I
always
tell them all the time. I'm like, you know, I like went and bid at a house one day, and it was like $600. The guy said, "Well, how long is it going to take you?" I said, "I'll be in and out less than 2 hours, 2.5 hours. That's driveway, house, and everything. I ain't paying you that kind of money an hour." I'm like, "You're not paying me by the hour. You're paying me for the knowledge I know and for me not to tear your house up." I said, "Because you can get somebody to come out here. Yeah, you probably get done cheaper, but they drag a pressure washer off the back of a truck or out of the back of a car." I said, "They don't know what they're doing. Probably they're gonna burn your house. They're gonna put pressure on it and tear a bunch of stuff up." I said, "And then you get your stuff tore up, and they ain't gonna fix it." I
and
said, "You
usually
know,
it
well,
takes more and more time to fix somebody else's mistake. Like if they've etched the driveway or, if they've etched the driveway or, caused some kind of damage, I mean, you can't really fix the windows if they've etched them, and you can't, you can fix a driveway if it's etched, but it's gonna take a lot of work, a lot more money. Or if they botch up a sealer job, I mean, now you're gonna have to strip that, and you're gonna have to re-clean it, and you're gonna have to resand it, and then you're gonna have to reseal it, and sometimes it costs more to fix somebody else's mistake. So we've got Chris
yeah,
Bergner's on here. I've seen some more people. Dillion's on here. Farron is on here. And Kanan is on here. Hey guys, welcome. So,
Well, I'll say something too. When the guy didn't want to pay you because it wasn't going to take very long, he's not paying you for the hour. He's paying you to get the job done. And if he's
yeah,
willing to pay to get the job done, and he told you that that was the price he would pay, doesn't matter how long it takes you. And
yep,
you're taking all of the risk. If anything goes wrong at all, you're going to go in the negative on this and lose money and not charge him more. And
right,
so I get really upset when people, they just look at the hours and like, oh, like they don't want to pay it, and it's like they're not taking any of the risk here, and they don't care if they don't care if you can pay your bills. They'll screw you over, and they're going to try and get the lowest price possible, and they don't care about you. I don't like to work with people like that. This
no,
happened to me tonight. We went. I sent one of my guys out to do a job, and the customer called me. And he's like, "Hey, I'm here with one of your guys." He's like, "I'm a little bit surprised. There's only one person here." And immediately, like I'm kind of rude, but right when he said that, I was like, what does it matter to you how many people I have on the job? That's none of your concern. As long as the job gets done, it doesn't matter. And we got into a little spat, and eventually I pulled my guy off the job before we even started because I know that's the kind of customer that's going to cause me more problems in the long run. And I
yeah,
might lose he's going to pay me $1,000, but the way that he'll make the situation go, I might end up spending 1,500 just to be done with the guy in the long run. So I pulled my guy off immediately, and I don't even need to deal with it.
and if you do get called back for a job you got turned down for because they said you cost too much, and this guy walked off the job, couldn't do it, it was too much for them, they couldn't get that high, whatever the excuse is,
oh,
still charge the full amount that you came to him with. Your price is still going to be the same.
yep,
You don't know, that guy could have half-assed washed something, and you're still gonna have to wash where he washed, because if he only washed the bottom part where he could reach, you're still gonna
there's
have to
dirt.
wash it for, yeah. So I wouldn't.
Your dirt's gonna come down on his clean part that he was.
Yeah, so
This
instead
this might not be a good thing to say, but charge him double. Like whatever your price, charge him double. Like he screwed you over. He took someone else. He wanted to go with him. He made his decision. He wants you now. Make him pay for it. If he doesn't do it, fine. Move. Find another customer. There's plenty of work.
you read that, Anthony?
I can't read it. My other screen's got it blocked.
Oh, okay. Well, Anthony, Kyle said I need a pants check. No, I don't.
Oh,
Hey, God. I think he wants his pants checked. Not y'all got no. Anthony, sit down. Oh man.
that guy wasn't sitting here in my drawers. That's what I usually do when I'm sitting out here on the deck. The whole country don't need
Henry.
signatures.
And I can't say this name. Enoshi Henry is here. Hello, if I botched your name, there it is. Probably did. And no, well, you got Kyle blocked. Is that what you said? You can't see it because you got him blocked.
No, I'll say I'm on my phone. I got us three's on the left hand side, and then I got your background screen that's got the bubbles in it. It's on the right hand side, and I don't know if I hit the X if it's going to take everything away, because I've not hit it yet, and I don't want to.
Gotcha.
But I mean, I can. I'll try it and see.
Well, you'll pop right back on. I don't know. Drunk Anthony's fun for a laugh. Oh, I was close on the pronunciation. Thank you. I'm on pain medicine too, so there's my excuse. But I probably wouldn't have got it right anyway. So
So how did you get in this business, Trudy? Like what's your journey been?
So I mean, I've done it here and there before, but back when I was a store manager and I got let go because they could pay somebody less than me, so I got let go. And Shane, my husband, he was selling flooring on commission. So when all the housing stuff started trickling down, nobody was buying housing. So he started with pressure washing on the weekends. I'd go help him, and I was helping him. And then after we both lost our jobs, we started to do that Monday through Friday, and I had an internal cleaning medicine job. So I business. There's the word, business. We lost him. All right, he's stuck in bubbles somewhere. Oh gosh, maybe he shouldn't be on here. I think he's had too much Coke and rum, or rum and Coke. Anyway, so me and him started washing Monday through Friday full time. We were doing part time for a while, and then internal cleaning on the weekends, and we helped each other do that. So we were working 7 days a week, and we've been doing that for years and years. And then finally, I think 3 Octobers ago, I just gave up the internal cleaning because I was pressure washing, internal cleaning, and having panhandle doing it at the same time. So something had to give, and I don't like cleaning bathrooms and toilets. I like cleaning the outside of houses, so I knew which one had to go. So if he puts his butt up there, I swear I'm going to take him off. I'm about ready to put the camera. Yes, Jane, Anthony is in Jamaica right now. You're here. I can't see you with your black screen. Unless that is your butt, and then we got something to talk about.
That's really cool that you and your husband have been able to work together. And
Yeah.
It's interesting that when you first start out, it's really hard to find customers and it's really hard to build a business.
Yeah.
But over time, there's so much opportunity in this industry and in the cleaning industry, like you were in,
Mm-hmm.
where you will get overwhelmed with so much to do that you have to make these judgment calls on, okay, now where am I going to spend my time?
Yeah.
But for the first while, like 6 months or something, you're like, oh God, is this going to work? What am I going to do? Like, am I going to lose the house? Like, I'm terrified. Do I have to get like a day job?
Mm-hmm.
But all of a sudden, there is enough work if you just stick it out and you kind of like go over those hurdles. And then all of a sudden, you're just so busy that it will literally make you sick and you'll just fall over dead if you try and do it all.
Yeah, I mean, I was working 7 days a week. I did that for 17 years, and something just had to give. I started getting grandbabies started showing up, and I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
I need time with them. I need time. But, you know, we built 2 successful businesses. You know, I found somebody to take over the cleaning business, so I let that go. And we just put all our energy into washing until Panhandle blew up. And it was just the free training events. I swear, if he keeps doing this, oh my gosh, Anthony.
Hey, hey, I'm not jumping around.
Oh,
You controlling the camera angles.
you got 2 on here. You got 2 open. It
What?
keeps jumping back and
You
forth.
got 2 of me on there?
I got 2 of you on there.
Well, you lucky then.
Oh, gosh, I feel bad for Tracy. So anyway, yes, you build and you put your energy into one. You know, I see these guys with 18 different things they do on the side of their truck. You know, I wash windows, I clean gutters, I do landscaping, I do this, and I'm just like, well, how can you focus on something? You know, it's like you got to put your energy and just put all your heart into one industry, one part of the industry. You know, we don't like cleaning gutters. We don't advertise we clean gutters at all because it's something we don't like to do. Because, oh, can you blow out my gutters but not clean my house? Well, I'm going to clean your house anyway because I just got all the gutter crap all over it. You know, so we're going to have to rinse it down. It has to be rinsed off because I'm not going to leave crap on somebody's house just because, you know, it's just not the right thing to do. And it's just, you know, I see a lot of guys, like Anthony was saying, a lot of guys have failed. And I see them failing not because they can't do the job, it's because they don't know how to get the work. They don't know how to market themselves. They don't know how to run the business side. You wake up every morning unemployed until you go get your calendar filled. So unless you're willing to be out there and be a salesman and do cold calls and knock on doors, you're not going to make it because it's not as easy as YouTube and TikTok makes it sound.
That's right. You have
It's
to have
a,
a system. You have to have things that you do every day the same way, every single time that you know you're going to get certain results.
Yeah,
And it's like, I know if I knock on 100 doors, 10 people might answer. And out of those 10 people, maybe I give 6 estimates. And out of 6 estimates, maybe 4 of them say yes.
right.
And so I know every day if I want to get 4 sales, I have to knock the 100 doors. And you just do it every single day. And it's a repeatable thing that you can just do that you're
Mhm.
always going to get the same result.
Yeah,
And so that's what a business is. It's a series of systems that you're just doing over and over and over again. And then you try and improve it every time you go through a cycle.
right.
And I don't know, I've been very passionate about learning how to figure out what those things are, get the results that I want. And it's not
And
easy because, yeah,
it's not
that's a
because
big
every place is different, right, Anthony? I mean, I market to the beach and people that don't live here full time, where Anthony markets to a different clientele. Every area is going to be different, and every type of marketing is going to be different. So, I mean, we're going to have marketing. We're going to have a marketing class at the event this year, so it's going to be great. And Alan White says, washing's all I do. Gutter cleans out keep me busy when it's cold. Chris Berkner's watching. Hey, Chris. Alan White. Hey, he said door knocking doesn't work where he's at. Where are you at, Alan? So it doesn't work everywhere, and every door direct mail doesn't work everywhere, and
yeah.
cold call doesn't work every. You know, there's a lot of things that don't work in different areas. So it's Anthony, what works good for you? I mean, we've been in it so long. We've got 3 rat trucks. We've built our clientele. You know, we don't have to go knocking on doors anymore.
The
You've been in.
biggest question I get is people ask me when I'm doing my gas stations and I post the pictures of them. They're like, "How do you get that contract?" Well, there's different stages of restaurants that you have to. I mean, service station you got to go through. Number one, you got to find out who owns that gas station.
Mhm.
If it's a rev up gas station and they got 30 of them in your state or whatever, you got to figure out, is rev up, is it franchise owned, or is it corporately owned? and then you got to get in contact with that people.
Mhm.
See, like I worked for Jet Pep, and that's how I got into the pressure washer business when I quit. When I quit there, the man owned 132 gas stations. So we went out and we cleaned every one of them. He leased them stations out to people, and that I mean they'd have people come in and want to clean them, and they like nope, they take care of it. It was all in house. But now they sold out the company and everything. Transamerica bought it over. So now you got to get in with whoever's got that contract, which that company still has that contract, and that's how I do a lot. Got a lot of my Circle K, but like racetrack, raceway. I mean, they're the same company, but they're different companies. The raceways are they're franchise owned, meaning Mr. Patel inside the gas station, he's responsible for his concrete work outside the building. The racetrack company is responsible for like canopy, the building, everything else, all the equipment and everything. Now, you want to go, you want to try to get some of them, you got to go talk to the franchise. The flat work, you got to talk to the person inside. And then the canopies belong to the company, so you got to figure out who you got to talk to there. And, then you jump to the race track side of it. It's totally different. They're all corporate owned.
Hmm.
So the raceways and race tracks down here, that's what they're down here. They got them in Texas. They're all like kind of in the southeastern area. I don't know if they go up as far as where you're at, Joseph, but Speedway's probably the same thing, and I think they go further up that way. But I mean, just
Building off of what you
knock on
guys
doors,
both
man. It
said. Oh,
it took me. I was after McDonald's and my where I lived in the small town I lived at the time. It took me a year and a half to 2 years to get that job. We got that job. They had 13 stores that they had to keep cleaning. They used to do them monthly. They don't do them monthly no more. So they was kind of getting slack. So then I went on down the road into another town and found out who owned these other set of McDonald's, which they got 22 of them. And, you know, I went by the office. I dropped cards off. I dropped flyers off. I dropped this off. Dropped that off. I called the dude. I text the guy once a week, at least 2 or 3 times a month. I'm texting this dude. Man, if you need anything done, we'll be happy to help you out. Blah blah blah, and just keep the communication open. Let him know that, hey, I need your business, but you need my business too, because I'm driving through your stores and they looking horrible, man. And let us help you out, which I ain't got them on a monthly yet, because the guy that was over that part, he retired and he said there's no way they'll do it. But the new guy, we're gonna sit down next week sometime and we're gonna talk about, and I'm gonna try to nail them down to a contract with their parking lot striping, the pressure washing, window cleaning, and hood cleaning, everything. Just write me a check once a month. You handle your IT stuff, and you ain't got to worry about your properties being dirty. That's on me.
Nice. So we got, so Alan White was in Western New York, Buffalo area. He said the door knocking doesn't work there. Um, Let me see, what's his name again? Enosh, I'm
Mm-hmm.
just gonna say that. Anyway, he said he hasn't had
And
any luck with gas stations.
a
So with
lot,
the
a
gas
lot of
station,
people don't, because they
so
don't know how to get
the people working
into
in
them.
there don't, the people working in there don't know who's in
Yeah.
charge.
building off of what both of you guys said. So Trudy, you said that you wouldn't, you know what you do and you know what you don't do, and
Yeah,
you're not going to do gutters because you don't do gutters.
right.
And then Anthony, you said that you were doing these gas stations and trying to get in with them. If you niche down very narrow, it's going to be scary because you feel like you're getting rid of your opportunities. But I guarantee you, anybody watching this, if you literally built a website that says gas station cleaning Buffalo, and that's the URL. And then you go there and it's your pressure washing company and you make it look like you only specialize in gas stations and you're like, here's some canopies we've done, here's some before and afters of the grease we got rid of, here's the striping that we've done in the parking lots, and we're the best at cleaning gas stations because that's all we do.
Mhm.
You will get every single gas station to come to you because you're going to be the guy with the most experience. And anytime they're looking it up online, your SEO is going to be at the top of the page. And then when you walk in and you're meeting these people and you go to the meetings, you can let them know, hey, we're the best in the area. This is all we do. And we've done hundreds of them. And I built my whole business around gas stations. It's a very specific thing that's different than washing a house. And very quick, I would say probably within 6 months to a year, you'll become known in that industry and you'll get your phone will just start ringing and people will be calling you in to do the bids. Not only that, when you niche down, then you can go to the gas station industry associations and you can go give talks about here's how we handle our wastewater and here's how we can reroute our wastewater into your tanks and here's what you need to know about what the EPA is looking at, and then you can contribute to their industry from a very high level and show that you're an expert in their industry, and you'll get all their business. You won't need to do anything. You won't need to do restaurants or houses or anything because the gas stations will give you more and you could charge a lot more because you're the guy for that. So I did that
So,
with restaurants. That's how I became the rest. We clean more bars and restaurants than anybody in my area. In fact, I got a contract pressure washing. It's Burgerville. They're just a small local place, but they've got 36 locations, and they wanted their whole places pressure washed every 6 weeks. We got all of Oregon and Washington every 6 weeks. Dumpster pads, the drive-throughs, everything, and that's how you do it. Is because we're known for doing bars and restaurants.
so here,
I got a
just for
thousand stories like that.
this guy right here, I can't lift my hand up, but do you see his name? Court
Yeah,
King. He
yeah,
does pressure washing, but he focuses on tennis courts. He said he travels the country because now he's the tennis court guy. And that's what
yeah.
he put his, that's on his business card, but he does do other things. But he is the court king, court king. That's all he does. So, you have to give somebody, make them think that they're getting the best of the best. So then you won't be talked down on price. You won't be, getting four other bids, a homeowner. I'm just getting bids now, so they're calling everybody in the neighborhood, in this area. So,
But who are they going to get bid? Like if you got a tennis court and you
right,
know there's one guy that does tennis
right,
courts, who are you going to
exactly.
get bids from? Like
You're
the
right.
kid down the street with like the high school kid,
Right.
like pulling the pressure washer behind him. Like you can choose who do you want, the
Yeah,
expert, or do you want to go with someone who doesn't know? You only
right.
got one choice.
Yeah.
You have to get the guy.
So now you could do gas station king, Anthony.
Do what?
Gas station king.
Gas
Station
station
king.
king?
Just put station king. There you go. There's your new thing.
I
So
think Shane got a question for you.
I do, and for you. So
He said
Anthony,
Trudy. He didn't say me.
well, I know, but he likes me more. But you're the gas station king. So I know what I
Uh,
do. I mean, I use Anthony mixes his own stuff, and I'm not a chemist, and I'm not going to get involved in all that because I have enough success hurting myself without chemical burns.
I do. We do mix our own sodium hydroxide a lot of times, but there are chemicals out there I do use because I push them for different chemical companies, and I like using their products and stuff. But a lot of times we do use sodium hydroxide, but this a good degreaser. I mean, you know, a sodium hydroxide base is the best to use, but you get it on you, it's gonna hurt you. So if you're not used to using it, I'd stay away from it. I'd go more with a citrus base degreaser, which it's going to take a little bit more to get it clean, but it will clean it and it'll clean it just as good. And that way, if a customer walks through there barefooted, you ain't got to really worry about them getting chemical burns on their feet and stuff because, you know, and right now, as hot as it is, I mean, you'd be surprised that people come, what they wear coming in service stations.
They're
I'm
pajama
not.
bottoms and no shoes.
I'm not going to. My feet ain't touching that nasty ass stuff.
Right?
I mean,
So,
but
what do you guys use to remove moon tire shine silicone off of concrete driveways?
I've
You,
tried just about everything on tire shining. I can't never get it up hardly.
there was an EcoChem product they told me years ago, which is probably last year, but I had the event and then everything else happened. So for the life of me, I can't remember. But send me a PM, click on me and send me a PM and I'll get you the answer tomorrow. But I know there is one and I just, for the life of me, I can't think of it. It might pop up in the middle of a different conversation, but yeah, PM me one and I'll get you the answer. So we've got Juan here. Welcome. So anyway, we've got about 3 minutes left right now. So Anthony, thank you for joining us in your vacation with your wife. But I thought she'd get jealous of you doing this, but now I know you're down there at the bar drinking those dirty drinks. So I don't feel bad at all now.
She's not the social butterfly I am, so you know. But anyway,
Okay.
let's let our guest if they have any advice on somebody starting out,
All right.
what would be
I got a question for all of us. What's been the best marketing for you guys? For
word of
us,
mouth?
yeah. When we started out where we are, there was only 4 of us that had big enough machines to do anything with down here. So all 4 of us are still in business, but we started before the boom came to this area. I have 3 wrap trucks that run around all over the place. We used to have 4, but we one went on retirement. So we have 3 rolling billboards, which work great. And they're all bubbles, and you see them in the parking lot, little kids will be trying to pop the bubbles. And I really want to get a sound effect on the truck. So when they touch it, it goes, I think that'd be awesome. That and every door direct mail works great in the places here. So, that worked. I'm not answering it, Kyle. Kyle said, oh, Kyle wants to know what dirty drink was a pink what? Answer
Oh,
that.
jeez.
I know. Kyle just, I'll tell him.
I'll tell.
Anyway, so that worked for Anthony. What marketing worked for you?
Uh, I've really not done a lot of marketing.
No.
When I got into it, somebody told me wash your neighbor's house, wash your aunt's house, wash all your people's houses, and get them to put it on Facebook.
Yep.
Wash it for free. You may wash 10 houses for free to get started, but they got 500 followers. They got 1,600. This one may have 12,000. And even they're all in your community.
Yeah.
And do the job. Take your time. Don't get out there and rush. Take your time. Do the job right, and make it look good. Before and after pictures, put them on your own Facebook page. Have a business Facebook page. Put it on it. Have it linked to your personal page. If you can't do that, you can get in touch with me. I got a young lady that's awesome at it. I'm talking run your Facebook ads for almost literally nothing. And she's great at what she does. I've knocked on doors, not had really a whole lot of success out of it. If we're in a neighborhood working, guys will be cleaning the driveway or something, and I'm with them. I'll go down the street, have some cards in my hand, knock on doors and stuff. May pick up a few there, but mainly, Trudi, my thing's been word of mouth. I mean, I've not done direct mail. We've not done a whole lot of advertisement. I mean, we buy stuff for school papers and stuff like that. We do work for local high schools and stuff, the towns we lived in and stuff. Billboards on their fences, on the ball, on the cages and stuff, the fence, at ball fields and stuff like that. But I mean, mostly just if you present yourself, even starting out, you got to sell yourself as you the best at what you do. And if you can't do that, you're not going to make it in this world. You're not going to make it in this industry. But it's just everybody, like you said earlier, everybody thinks it's easy to come out here and make $1 million in a year
You got to work
in the
for it.
pressure washing industry. It's not. I've been doing it for 10 years and I ain't made $1 million yet. Would I like to? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
Lottery
I don't
ticket.
have the people to do it for number one. So the good Lord ain't gonna put me in that position to ruin my name and reputation because I can't get the jobs done. So I mean, right now we're sitting at 250, 300 a year. I mean, me, one man and a truck and a helper. I mean, that's pretty good money. I mean,
The
With
we do.
the key
less
the
headache.
key is writing it down and filming yourself and
Mm-hmm.
building that training so that you can train other people to do it exactly like you do. And you can trust people. I want to tell you
They
this
ain't
because
gonna do it. They ain't gonna do it just
I
like I
think
do it, man. I just tell
that's
you.
that's what I wanted to say. That's what I wanted to say. I remember feeling like it's all on my shoulders, and if I drop the ball, everything's going to come crashing down because my employees just don't give a shit about me or my business or my customers. But once I documented everything and I learned some leadership, like things by just like different reading, like reading books and practicing and getting better at my communication, I built up a team that I feel like they have my back and they want to work hard to impress me and work hard for the customers and they take ownership of it. And I, honest to God, I can tell you this right now. I feel like my team can do it just as good as me. And when I drop the ball and I'm too tired and I'm weak, or if something happens, I know that they're still going to wake up and they're gonna do a really good job. And so I would encourage everybody to, if they want to get to that point. But it starts by writing it down and filming yourself and building those systems in the background. That's the only way out. It's the only way out.
All right. So what is your best marketing? Just what you said, just filming and
Um, the So niche down and pick one thing,
Mhm.
whether it's like you do fences or you do restaurants or you do gas stations, niche down to do one thing. Then your SEO will bring in leads for you. The next thing is market to the people that you know through Facebook on your own personal Facebook and just share before and afters of the projects that you do. And people will see that you're doing it and then they'll reach out to you. You don't even need to ask them. They'll come to you because they know that you do it and you're the person. Um, the next thing that I did was I hired my wife to, she would literally get on Google Street View and go up and down streets looking for businesses, looking at their name and then going to their website and then emailing them and just telling them, hey, we're doing a promotion on this. If you're interested, we can get you an estimate this week. Let us know. And it was her job to do 100 a day. So she'd just sit on Netflix and make a big list on an Excel spreadsheet and then email people 100 a day. And she did that for probably 6 months at the very beginning. And our business has just been on repeat business and autopilot since then. So, but we do all commercial work mainly. We do some residential now with the pressure washing, but primarily it's all commercial work. So,
awesome. All right, everybody,
um,
it's been great.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
if
we
anyone's
can
interested,
make
they
it
can find me at josephgary.com,
okay.
and I'd love to help you build your business and get you out of the field and make your life easier if you need it or want it. If you found anything that I said useful or interesting. So,
And they can also find you on Facebook, correct?
yes, ma'am.
I
Awesome.
tried that and couldn't find you.
You,
So
what?
send me a friend request.
Yeah, for sure.
He won't be able to find you either because you don't have Court King. Not Court King, but Station King.
No, but
Anyway,
I'm Jamaica King. Yeah, no.
oh, Jamaica man. All right, so everybody, and I hope Joseph, you can come to the event. We've got booths open still for the event. I think we had almost 300 people last year, Anthony.
Yep.
We did,
It's
and
awesome.
there's a lot of. If you talk to anybody that was there last time at a booth, you have so much face-to-face time, individual time with these contractors. It's not like there's everything's filled up and they don't have time to come talk to you. I make sure there's a lot of showroom time for you guys to speak with the customers and just let them know what you're doing. We had like probably $25,000 worth of giveaways last year. We had 4 machines, 3 surface cleaners, hose reel. We had hoses. It was insane.
Like
Salt
12
water.
bags of
Yeah.
stuff from one company just said, here, give us away.
Emptied the whole booth and just gave it away. It was awesome of the support that we get, and it's contractors educating and training and helping contractors. You know, it's not going to be just the guy who's been in business for, a year and he's going to tell you how to go striping or do something like technical. These people are educated, experienced contractors that are pretty much, they've retired and they just come out here and help the other guys grow and learn. And it's a great industry. It's a great camaraderie that we have with each other. And the networking alone is just insane at this event. So links right over there. Everybody's got links in the chat field. And my AC is not working here, and I am just dying, and I'm on medicine. I'm getting
Mine ain't neither.
to me, and my arm's killing me, and my foot's killing me. So.
Me too. I'm having a bad hair day.
Thank you guys so much for everything that you're doing for the industry. You guys are sharing really good information, and it's helping a ton of people. And you guys don't have to do this. Like, you're creating like a wealth of resources and information, and it wouldn't be here without you guys. So thank you for doing that. I appreciate it.
I've got one more question as a fellow Oregonian. Ducks or beavers?
I kind of like ducks. I like the ducks.
Yes. Okay. Green and yellow, baby. Green and yellow. I
Yeah,
was up
that's
everybody
right.
that's in Oregon. I'm like, ducks or beavers? Are you gonna be my friend or not? No, I'm kidding. If you like beavers, it'll be fine. All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next week.
Yeah, sounds good.